Hello and welcome back to my writing vlog series. This is writing vlog number 32 and I'm filming this on the 17th of December 2025. In this writing vlog I'm going to work on chapters 22 and 23. So I've got some work ahead of me because chapter 22 is going to be written from scratch. And I think I also need to make pretty big changes to chapter 23. I'm going to work hard on this today, and I hope that I will get to do both of the chapters in this writing vlog. That's the plan at least, and then I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the rest of the novel in terms of how I split it between writing vlogs. I'm going to write several chapters in a row, I think, from scratch, and so I might switch and then only do one chapter per writing vlog, but we'll see how much I get to do in this one. If I can manage to write a complete chapter from scratch and make several medium or smaller changes to the next chapter, then that's all right. I hope that I don't need to make big changes in chapter 23, but I'll see about that. I'm going to to work on the novel. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm adding a completely new chapter, and it will be a scene, maybe two scenes combined. I'm not sure if they will switch location, but I've got some things in mind for what this chapter is going to be about. The outline for myself is basically about overall things. I think you can say I've written that everything is dandy. Katrina is feeling all right. Charlie is happy again, and Katrina is giving it her all at school, and so they're doing okay, and they are living together now with Dina, Greg, and the kids, and they are doing what they can to get by, and things are fine, things are great, maybe. And then I think that this chapter won't be that long. It's just a bridge between what has come before and what's going to happen. The previous chapter was pretty intense, I think, in terms of what happened, because she, or maybe that was the fallout of what happened before that, but Katrina asks the people she lives with if Charlie can live with them, and they end up saying yes to it, even though they're a bit hesitant. But Katrina promises that it will be fine and that she will do what she can to make everything work well. So now that they're living together, things are going great. And then in the next chapter, there's a big reveal and things will be messed up again. And I think I need this chapter to establish a new kind of status quo, because the change that the previous chapter led up to, which is that they are now going to live together, would be weird if I just skipped that. So Katrina and Charlie have seen each other on and off, and he comes over to her place, and the family that Katrina lives with is pretty fond of him, but he's still a stranger. And so I think I need to write this new chapter. As I said earlier, I don't think the chapter will be that long. I just need to make things slow down a bit again, and allow my characters a bit of room to breathe and have a bit of fun before things go wrong again. So that's what I'm going to do. But yes, I'll dive into the novel, and I will write this chapter and do adjustments for the next chapter if time allows for that, and then I will get back to you.
Pretending I love you, and have soon convinced myself that it is true. But I just need some help to try to get through and get over you. But when you smile at me and hold my body tight, I'm lost as I can be, trapped in the heat of the night. And once again I'm pretending there's no bigger fool than me. I believe in your love for me, but there's more I need to be. Please let me go and be free. I'm allowed to cry, 'cause I'm believing a lie. I know I've gotta hate, it's one way to change my fate, my silly fate. Don't let it be too late. Just walk out that door, can take no more. But then you look at me, do you really mean it? And I show you mercy, I guess it's nearing the ending. But once again I'm pretending there's no bigger fool than me. I believe in your love for me, but there's more I need to be. Please let me go and be free. I'm allowed to cry, 'cause I'm believing a lie. There's no bigger fool than me. I believe in your love for me, but there's more I need to be. Please let me go and be free. I'm allowed to cry, 'cause I'm believing a lie. And now I see what I've done. I wish you were gone. I wanna start over again. But first I will say goodbye. I don't wanna hold on in vain. I know you won't even start to cry. I wanna live my life. You can go and find a wife. I guess it's nearing the ending. But once again I'm pretending there's no bigger fool than me. I believe in your love for me, but there's more I need to be. Please let me go and be free. I'm allowed to cry, 'cause I'm believing a lie.
Hello again. I have now written an entirely new chapter, and I have gone through another chapter and made changes to that so it fits in with what I have written earlier. So it took a bit of time to write a full chapter because it's a scene. I actually got an idea while I was writing the chapter, and I was like, oh, so you can actually see my reaction in the montage of what it's called, where I wrote the story. After I had said that I was going to write this chapter, I filmed the next section right away, and so what you see me working on is the first part of this chapter that I wrote. And while I wrote it, I got this idea for something that could happen in the chapter that makes sense and that disrupts the status quo that I barely just established, and then things change again and they have to deal with this. So what happens in this chapter is that someone shows up and tells Katrina and Charlie something that disrupts the status quo. They thought that everything was going all right, but things aren't going that great. And Katrina also thought something about Charlie, but that actually turned out not to be the case. she thought that he was actually doing okay and that things were fine, but things aren't fine. This new friend that Katrina has gotten has a reason now to be sad, mad, and disappointed and just displeased, and so he walks off, leaving Katrina alone with the dog. And this person who told them this news is also just, okay, bye, you're on your own, and Katrina has to deal with this. And when she gets home, things are changing, and I state something in this next chapter that I read through and adjusted, that Dina and Greg find out something about Katrina, and they react to this, and at first they're fine with it, but then they're like, oh, okay, Katrina is out walking the dog again, but then she comes home and she's like, oh, what's going on? But she leaves them alone, and she doesn't really want to interfere because Dina is going to tell Greg something important, and because Katrina has no idea how Greg is going to react, she'd rather not be in the house when he hears this. But eventually she has to go back, and when she gets into the house, she can hear that they are still talking about this, and Dina acted in one way when she was with Katrina, and Katrina thought, oh, okay, it's not that bad, things are going to be okay. But then when she gets home, she overhears Dina and Greg talking, and they're actually not that pleased with the situation, and they want her to leave. They don't want her living with them anymore, and so her life is going to change. But this is the lead up to something else that is going to happen later on in the story, and I will build on more layers to this story, so I actually have this build up, the battle and the climax before the resolution, instead of just and then end it. So things are going to change in this story along the way. I hope that the coming chapters aren't that, or I don't really think that I have got much material left that is already written for the rest of the novel, because I'm going to add all of these new chapters, or I don't know how many I'm actually going to add, but a handful still. In the previous writing log, I think I said that I would need to write about 5 more from scratch, but then I wrote 1 more from scratch, and I have written 1 more today from scratch, and besides that, I think there will be 5. I don't really know for sure, but I can look at my list of chapters in Word. Okay, so what I have worked on today is that I added a completely new chapter for chapter 22, and I went through chapter 23 and adjusted that. Luckily, I didn't need to change that much. It was mostly minor things that I needed to tweak a bit so it fits with what has happened in the previous chapters. I had written in this story that this other character isn't living with them, but he has actually been living with them for about 3 months. Now I don't remember if it was months or weeks, but I made a note to myself that I need to check up on this timeline and make sure that it fits and that it makes sense. But I stated somewhere that this other character has been living with them for X amount of days or weeks or months or something, and then it's clear in this new version that he actually has been living with them. We don't see that much, but I skipped something because he was allowed to come and live with them, and then I skipped ahead, and then to a point where he has been living with them for a while, but then Katrina finds out that he isn't really doing that well, and she thought he was doing okay. And all of these new things happen. I can see in this list that chapter 24 will be new, completely new as well. Chapter 25 seems to be something that I can use, or I'm going to use from the old version, and so is chapter 30, which was the old chapter 22. So things are shifting, I expand upon this last part of the story, and that might mean that I have to trim down at the beginning of the story. I'm not sure. I have added other new chapters, and maybe I didn't need to add all of that, or maybe I should make them into, or condense the information a bit, and then, or a lot, and then just make paragraphs. Maybe it would be a shame to just sum up things, tell things instead of showing things. But I will see when I get to do this new read through of the novel from start to finish and fix all of these things. I had thought and hoped that this read through and editing process would take care of all of these things, but there are still things that I need to change, and hopefully I don't need to add anything new, but I have to to find the trimmer, so to speak, and just trim the story in places where I feel like, okay, this isn't that important. I can delete that. Maybe I won't delete it right away, but mark it so that I can return to it and then make a more informed decision whether it needs to go or stay. If I read through the story just one more time and delete things without having read through everything from start to finish, it would be a shame, I think, because I might miss something important. So I can't really know for sure if something needs to be there or not until I have read the full story. This editing process is a bit different because I'm editing things as I go and adding things and removing things, and then in order to know whether it flows and makes sense in the big picture things, I need to read through it one more time. But that's a matter for a different day or work for me, future me. But yes, I have I don't really know how long this new chapter is that I wrote today, but I would imagine that it's about 3,000 words. Maybe I haven't really written that much, but I think it would at least be 2,000 words, but somewhere between 2 and 3,000 words is all right. Maybe it's more than I think. It flowed pretty well when I wrote, and I got this new idea in the middle or in the beginning of when I wrote it, and then, oh, I'm going to go with that. And it beefs up the story a bit to make it more impactful, and it gives one of the other characters, this Charlie character, a reason to just leave, and that explains why he isn't around when Katrina gets back home and after having walked the dog, and there's this big reveal and they're talking about this other character as if he isn't living with them, but I tweaked it so that it's clear that he is living there and has been living there, but that he's off somewhere and doing something else, but he will be back. So it was, fortunately, it was only minor tweaks I had to do. I added a bit, I think, here and there, but I also removed something that isn't relevant anymore and things that would contradict myself. It was a good day for doing this. It's very foggy today, and so the lighting isn't that good, but between 2 and 2.5 hours have passed since I started working on this, so I think I've done a good job today with everything that I've written and the things that I have edited and tweaked. But yes, I am nearing the ending, and I've got some stuff more left to do. As I said earlier, I'm going to add new chapters, and according to this list I have in Word with all of the chapter headings, I have 5 left. So about 5 was right in the previous writing log, but actually it was 6, and now I still have 5 left to go. For one of them I added something in the title that says something about combine it with the end of chapter XYZ something. I think I have in my old versus new outline a chapter that I'm going to split and then add something to both parts of that chapter. So one chapter will become 2, I think. I'm not really sure, but yes, that will come later in a future writing vlog. for now, I think I'm done. So I will end this writing vlog here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will watch the next one. Until then, take care. Thank you for watching.